Hello traders, it's Samurai Trader here. Welcome to my training session, my market recap of some live trading that I took on Monday evening, 19th of the 10th 2015. We're going to be looking at two markets, the Euro Stoxx 50 futures market and the NQ futures market. Now, remembering these setups work on all markets and all time frames. So if you're a forex trader, in my course I have a lot of recordings, a lot of training there as well. Now, before we go to the actual charts, just remember, and before I run through the entire session, actually there is a risk in trading. You need to clearly understand the risk, and that's why it's so important that you gain the right education, but also the right education at the right investment. I'm not going to ask you to spend $5,000-$10,000 or thousands of dollars. Your investment for the day traders fast track program, let me get this right traders, it's been a long day and night. The day traders fast track program is $197. You get massive value. It's now over 20 hours and you receive on average 2 to 3 recap videos and educational videos per week. Now we're about to go to the live screen. Please go to full screen for this, but I want to just talk to perhaps this more relates to some of the traders that are perhaps watching my videos for the first time. Is over 70% of the students that join me are experienced traders, and about 30% are brand new. Now the challenge for many traders, and hey, I've been there, but remembering I've been doing this now for over 23 years, is this: I love this statement. Very often a change of self is needed more than a change of scene. How that relates back to trading is this: very often we need to have a good close look at our attitude towards trading, at our discipline, at our focus, at our patience, before we go looking for the next best trading strategy. Now some of you may say, well look, yeah, okay, that gets me back on deck. I'll go and look at the strategies that I've got, and that's great, because traders, I don't charge a lot of money to obtain my program, but I give enormous value, because he who teaches learns twice. And by teaching traders, it really keeps me on my toes, and it's made me a much better trader. But the point here is you need to really look very closely at yourself. Now in learning how to day trade and swing trade, you need to allow at least 66 days, because the University College of London has said that's how long it takes to develop a new habit. For a lot of us, particularly a lot of the experienced traders that are giving it a go or haven't made it up till now, they need to develop new habits, and it's really hard sometimes to get rid of those bad habits. Now what works for me as a trader, and I know many of you have seen this before and heard me talk about this: I'm patient, I'm disciplined, I'm focused. I'm patient, I'm disciplined, I'm focused. I'm a sniper. One shot, one kill. Now we're about to look at 8 winning trades in a row I did last night. Well, it was really 4, because I added on to some positions. Now they were all rules-based trading, which means anybody can learn them. Now in Mark Douglas's great book of A Disciplined Trader, he talks about this, is that to become an expert, choose one simple system that identifies a pattern. Traders still get caught up with this thing that trading needs to be difficult. Simple is best. Yes, if you're new to trading, you'll look at my charts and you'll realize, hang on, there is a fair amount to learn, but give yourself 30, 60, 90 days. Now a question that I had just the other day, and it really perhaps is really relevant right now, is that with the 12-13 strategies that I teach you, do you need to learn all of them? Absolutely not. Focusing on just one technique alone has the potential to make you serious profits and a serious income for life. You go and learn the T1, the T2, or the T10, 3 of my strategies, you're set for life on those if you focus on those. But it really comes down to the power of focus. So before we move on to the charts, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do visit my website, download my free ebook, and most importantly, invest in my program. It'll be the best and perhaps the most valuable $197 you ever invest in your career. So let's have a look at a couple of things here. So the little blue lines, these are automatically plotted on my program. It's called TradeStation when I enter a trade. So a tick on the NQ is worth $5. So you can see here on this one here, I shorted 10 contracts. And the best way to learn to trade traders is trading with the trend. If you look at the yellow line, follow the yellow. It's the best way for a new trader. Follow the yellow, and you want to be trading in the direction of the yellow direction. Now there are some nuances, some little things that we look at, is that the 89, our little cyan line here, you'll get bounces off that and off this 200 regularly. So we've got an 89 EMA, we've got a 200, and look at this, we bounced and I got out on both lots of contracts. So I shorted here, I then shorted another lot, but I exited for around 1100, or if you were doing it on 2 contracts, it's around $110 on those 2. We then had a bounce, we bounced again, hit the pivot. Your stops are above, if you're experienced traders, you know your stops will be above the pivot, and away we go. Now I then went and had dinner, come back up to my office at home a couple of hours later, and so this is 8 p.m. my time. Shorted again on what we call a T89. I shorted again, I added to the position because I had a T1 signal, so T25 here, then I had a T1, and I was out both of those on 14 ticks, thank you very much. And then look at that market, that baby run. But it was my bedtime by then. It was what time was that? It was basically 9 p.m. and I'm up at 3:30 a.m. to trade the the US session. So but then you had a trade there, here. Now after, by the way, a little tip, I highly recommend that after you've had 3 trades in a trend to be extremely cautious. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Then I recommend to my students that they consider hanging up their boots until a new trend sets in. And then you had one here, 1, 2, 3, because the market moves in waves. 1, 2. Well, you would have got in there 1, 2, 3, and maybe even down here for your third one. So it's about learning how to trade correctly. Now what I want to do is show you the European market. So what we're looking at, traders, here is the Euro Stoxx 50 500 share bar or volume, and here we had just fantastic trades. We had a T2, it's called a T2, T2, and this is, by the way, is 5 p.m. my time. We then had a T10. We had some bounces around the pivot. I didn't take any of those. Now we're setting up and I'm ready to fire off a couple of quick trades before dinner. So we had a fantastic little triple top here, lovely divergence. I then jumped in on this one. This is what we call a T10. T10s are just great trades. Here I was after 7 ticks, so it's around $13 per point on the Euro Stoxx 50. We then come down, we bounced up, and we had a T25 right here, and it's also what we call a 34 bounce, and then it turned into a T2, and I was out on one. Now the other one come down and bounced around. I wasn't filled, so what I did there was I exited. You can see here I limited out, which means the platform automatically got me out. Then I got out on market here, and that was about $1,400 or $140 per 2 contracts. Now I then had dinner, come back, and this is just something I want to show you here. Now where is that? Okay, there we have there. Now this is where, if you said to me, where's the highest risk in trading? Well, here it is right here, traders. When you get all of these lines intertwine, you can see the blue line, the 89, we've got our 200, we've got our 34, we've got our 8, and we've got the trigger line 8 all converging like this. This is a danger zone. Now we were up against what we call a pivot, which is what this black line is. Now I got 2 full candles and I shorted the market. Based upon the 2 candles, I had a 6-point stop, which was put me up here, actually right up here. And traders, this really, I shouldn't have taken that trade. Now, as you're about to see, it still worked out, but really I should have sat that one out, and then I shorted again. Now, something on taking multiple positions, which is really important. I highly promote you never ever risk any more than 2% ever. So if you're going to take multiple entries like I have, and I can enter up to 4 trades at once, because my risk factor is no more than 0.5% per trade. So what that means is I can enter or add to a position up to 4 times. In this particular case, I had trades going on the NQ, the Nasdaq, and I had 2 trades at once, and I had 2 trades here. And we can see then the NQ, and one of the key things, by the way, that I took this trade was the, whoops, just go back here, sorry about that. The NQ was dropping really well, and just a little nuance. I notice when the NQ drops off, quite often the Euro Stoxx 50 will follow, and that's exactly what happened, and that was one of the compelling reasons for me to enter. But traders, when you see this sort of thing happening, stay out of the market, because here was the proper break. And I won't go into this video because it's already up to 12 minutes. I wanted to keep it short. Here's where your entry should have been. You had an entry there, then you had another entry here, so you still would have caught up on much lower risk trades. Now, what's really important here, traders, is that these are all rules-based trading strategies, fairly mechanical in their nature. They're very teachable. Anyone can learn these over time, and to learn how to trade successfully, you master one trade, then you move on to the next one. My grandmother, God bless her, is no longer with us, once said to me, and I've never forgotten, slowly catch your monkey. Traders, get rich slowly. There's no fast way to riches as a trader, but what you can create is a fantastic life. You can live the life of your dreams if you're willing to give yourself time. And when I say time, how long does it take? You need to allow at least 90 days. Start out by mastering one setup, then another. In the fast track program, I give you everything you need, and at a price that everyone can afford. So drop me an email if you've got any questions. Traders, if you haven't subscribed, please do, so you can keep updated with my trade recaps. Thanks, traders.